VanEck's CEO did an interview and said that Bitcoin will be at least half of the market cap of gold and will break $350,000. And look at the headline right there. And by 2050, which is in 26 years, yes, it's a little bit, he's expecting Bitcoin to be close to $3 million because he understands. And they have more than 30% of their portfolio in Bitcoin. Not quite up to 50%, but for a major corporation, that's saying a whole lot, right? And VanEck, they have a ton of funds. They're one of the biggest fund managers out there. So he definitely understands. So people that truly understand, what do they do with all this FUD? All they do is just ignore it, and then they continue to hold on DCA. That's really it. That's all you have to do. And if you can't DCA, well, they just continue to hold them. That's how it works. You got to ignore the short-term volatility. And more people are starting to realize that Bitcoin is the one true asset to hold. Even outside of Bitcoin, the usual Bitcoin OGs, you're starting to see fund managers and asset managers and companies around the world that are embracing a Bitcoin strategy because they're starting to understand. So VanEck, they understand. Coinbase has spectacular $1.4 billion in revenue. So obviously helped by the markets overall, right? Markets did improve a little bit. And then now, of course, volume goes up. And then even Crypto.com surpasses Coinbase in trading volume as institutional demand grows. Again, those pesky institutions, the big money, the big whales, they are loading up on Bitcoin. They are loading up on Bitcoin. And not only that, I got to say, it's not just that. Even Ethereum now, okay? Because I didn't even cover Ethereum. But if you look at Ethereum, they flipped to the positive yesterday, okay, in terms of their ETFs. And guess why? Guess why? BlackRock bought 90 million worth of Ethereum yesterday. Again, BlackRock is trying to dominate everything. Bitcoin, they're the number one Bitcoin holder, I believe, outside of the exchanges and Satoshi. But in terms of a fund, by far, they're the biggest or public trade company. And they're trying to do the same thing with ETH, right? So, and plus, of course, institutions are buying as well. So, I mean, again, you don't want to let these big boys take up all of your hard-earned money, okay? You don't want to give up your wealth to these guys by panic selling. No, you want to do the opposite. You want to buy when others are fearful. You want to follow what these guys are doing because they are just buying up the supply right beneath your eyes, I guess. No, that's not how the saying goes. But you guys know what I'm saying, right? They are certainly buying while other retail investors are panicking. Of course, Michael Saylor understands, right? He's been in it since 2020. He purchased another 169 Bitcoin last month, which isn't a whole lot considering how much he has already, 226,500. But the exciting news is he announced that he's going to be raising another $2 billion to buy more Bitcoin. Michael Saylor understands. Wall Street understands. Okay? People that truly understand do not have any panic. In fact, they're looking forward to lower prices so they can continue to accumulate more and buy more. The crypto fear greed index, you know, this is how fast sentiment moves. We were in greed last week. We're in greed. Everything, you know, the Bitcoin conference, the Trump speech, and everything else that was happening. Germany stopped selling. We were in greed last week. Things were looking good. People were feeling good once again. And now we are in fear. Even yesterday, we were still in greed. And now it turned fearful, right? Unfortunately, sentiment has changed really, really quickly because we just have a lot of nonsense, okay? A lot of geopolitical stuff, a A lot of macro stuff that's happening all simultaneously, right? And we, of course, have more FUD within the crypto space too. It just seems like there's never-ending selling from different entities, like all over the place, right? We just got done with Germany. Mt. Gox is almost done. Like we're down to like 40% or 30%, right? Department of Justice starts selling. We don't know if that's going to continue on or not. And then now, Arkham reported that Genesis just moved $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin and ETH for repayments as well, because Genesis went bankrupt and now they're repaying. So that's another 1.5 billion being given out. Is this going to be sold or held? We don't know, right? It just seems like every single day there's some kind of new repayment that is causing FUD. But the good thing is, after this is done, we don't have to worry about Genesis ever again, right? So hopefully this doesn't cause more of a sell-off, or maybe this is what caused it or contributed to it at least. Mark Cuban also received $20 million worth of ETH from the bankruptcy, right? So obviously he's probably pretty happy about that, but a lot of people are getting it back. Genesis was primarily for institutions though, but they also did the Earn program for Gemini Earn. So those of you guys that had money on Gemini Earn, you probably will be getting your money back too. So that's the good thing. Anyways, like I said, there's just a lot of fear, okay? There's a lot of geopolitical stuff. The U.S. is going through all this right now, right? But it's also countries around the world. Japan is in a much dire position than we are. And I'm sure the Eurozone is it's going through the same thing. So a lot of geopolitical stuff going on, macro stuff going on, right? In terms of the overprinting still. The money printer is starting, and I'm going to show you guys that. And they got a lot of stuff going on, right? And of course, we got wars still going. The Middle East seems like that's escalating. So that's why we got so much FUD everywhere. So much FUD everywhere. But the good news is we have Bitcoin, okay? This is the reason why Bitcoin was created. This is the reason why Bitcoin is the ultimate asset that we have, the ultimate, the ultimate asset, because it's pure. You don't have anyone, there's no central authority controlling it. You don't have governments manipulating it. It does not read the news. It does not fall for FUD. It does not care if there's war going on in the Middle East or anywhere else. Okay, Bitcoin is pure, controlled by code, governed by the miners, and it just continues forward. And it's scarce, and demand keeps going up. And those that understand this and understand that all fiat is going to zero and being manipulated, they're loading up on Bitcoin.